These scenes always thrill us. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 most rewatched scenes in thriller movies.
Now, in these circumstances, unless the state has obtained some new piece of information relating to my involvement in the matter in question, then I find it highly prejudicial, even constitutionally offensive, to keep me detained without bail.
For this list, we'll be going over the scenes from thriller movies fans return to multiple times. Since thrillers are a pretty broad genre, expect to see everything from action thrillers to crime thrillers. Also, there are spoilers ahead. Number 20, Live with Murray, Joker. Yes, it's a thriller. Although the story of Arthur Fleck's tragic journey to becoming the Joker has plenty of scenes audiences return to, from his mimetic dance on the stairs to his final triumph during the clown riot, Arthur's appearance on late-night TV takes the cake.
You okay?
Yeah. This is exactly how I imagined it.
Invited onto Murray Franklin's show, Arthur dresses in his clown makeup, which has become a charged symbol in the wake of his murders on the subway, which he also admits to.
Ever since I killed those 3 Wall Street guys.
Okay, I'm waiting for the punchline.
There is no punchline. It's not a joke.
He goes on to rail against society's treatment of him due to his mental illness before eventually shooting and killing Murray on live TV. Brutal, tense, and unforgettable, this scene epitomizes everything the movie is about. Number 19, Hallway Fight, Old Boy. A dark and violent Korean psychological thriller, Old Boy follows a man, Oh Dae-soo, who's imprisoned for 15 years for reasons he doesn't understand.
안 할 테니까, 나 여기 뭐 때문에 들어왔는지 그것만 얘기 좀 해줘요, 예?
Driven to discover his captor's identity and get revenge, Dae-soo investigates his former prison, but is attacked by thugs as he departs in a long hallway.
A, B형 손들어라.
Facing them with only a hammer, Dae-soo manages to fight them all off, as well as a group in a nearby elevator. Shot almost completely in a single tracking shot from the side, this famous hallway fight has inspired many similar action scenes, but there's no surpassing its haunting music or gritty and realistic choreography. Number 18, Had It, Snakes on a Plane. A movie that lives up to the absurd premise of its title, Snakes on a Plane sees FBI agent Neville Flynn forced to protect a witness aboard a plane en route to Los Angeles. Easy, yes?
Never flown first class before.
See, things are looking up already.
Not if the plane has been loaded with deadly snakes meant to kill the witness and everyone else on board. The movie is gloriously over the top, from its snake attacks to the music video during its credits.
It could possibly be a pheromone. That's what female animals release to trigger mating behavior. It could also provoke serious hyperaggression, like some kind of drug.
Well, that's good news. Snakes on crack.
However, the crowning moment that everyone returns to is when Flynn expresses his dissatisfaction with the serpentine situation using actor Samuel L. Jackson's typical choice in profanity.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Number 17, Courtroom Scene, Law-Abiding Citizen. When his wife and daughter's murderer is given a light sentence, Clyde Shelton finds the killer after his release and brutally executes him.
Look. Now they get to watch you suffer. It'll be the last thing you ever see.
In court, Shelton represents himself and manages to successfully convince the judge that he should be granted bail.
Well, then, in my opinion, the state has failed to establish a compelling basis for its motion, and I will grant bail in the amount
Your Honor, I would caution you not to do that.
He then turns around and blasts the judge for doing so, calling out both her and the courts at large for allowing an accused killer back on the street based on supposed precedents.
Well, how carefully should I tread? Because apparently, I just killed 2 people. And you were about to let me walk right out that door. How misguided are you?
The scene strikes a chord with anyone frustrated with the US legal system, and Butler's confrontational performance is mesmerizing every time. Number 16, particular set of skills. Taken. Brian Mills may seem like the typical overprotective dad when his daughter wants to go to Paris for a trip, but as a former CIA operative, he can be a bit suspicious. He's proven right, too, when a group of armed men abduct first his daughter's friend and then her. Brian's on the phone with her when it happens and is forced to ask her to describe her attackers as best she can.
They're leaving. I think they're...
The moment that keeps viewers coming back, though, occurs when Brian tells one of her abductors that because of his particular set of skills, he'll be coming for them, and he'll kill them.
If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So badass. The guy on the phone may wish Brian luck, but he doesn't need luck.
I told you I would find you.
Number 15, Cool Girl, Gone Girl. Amy Dunn is the missing wife of Nick Dunn, a guy whose callous attitude and infidelity makes him look guilty as heck of her murder.
No friends. This whole town.
She was very close with my mom before she passed away. And, we have a pretty serious homeless problem in our neighborhood. Maybe you guys should check that out.
However, we eventually see that Amy has a pattern of manipulative behavior and is still alive, having framed Nick for her murder to get back at him for cheating on her.
I inspired him to rise to my level. I forged the man of my dreams.
Although her psychological issues and crimes certainly don't make her a relatable villain, her monologue delivered over her steps to frame Nick is irresistible. Her attempts to change for him strike a chord with many women who have jumped through similarly unfair hoops to please their partner.
Gone. And my lazy, lying, cheating, oblivious husband will go to prison for my murder.
Number 14, opening robbery, Drive. Drive follows an unnamed stunt driver turned getaway driver whose involvement with his neighbor leads him to his most dangerous job yet.
When you get your money, his debt's paid. He's out for good. You never go near his family again. You understand?
However, before all that comes the opening sequence of the film, which shows the driver executing a job.
You give me a time and a place, I give you a 5-minute window. Anything happens in that 5 minutes and I'm yours. No matter what. Anything happens a minute either side of that and you're on your own.
The driver may be fast, but he also drives smart. He listens in to both the police and a local basketball game, which he cleverly uses to evade their notice, eventually slipping into the crowd when the game concludes. Moody and exhilarating throughout, this getaway drive is one of the all-time greats. Number 13, Dam Dive, The Fugitive. Dr. Richard Kimball is wrongfully convicted of his wife's murder. A prison breakout attempt by his fellow inmates on his transport bus allows Kimball to escape and pursue his wife's killer. However, Kimball is being hunted himself by federal marshals, led by the determined Samuel Gerard.
Checkpoints go up at 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimball. Go get him!
When Gerard pursues Kimball down a storm drain, the good doctor proclaims his innocence repeatedly, although Gerard doesn't care either way, since that's not his job.
I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Kimball then escapes by leaping off a massive dam. It's a fantastic scene in a thrilling movie that's been imitated and referenced quite often, though the original is still one that fans return to repeatedly.
Pay attention! Get out on your knees! Right now!
Number 12, Coffee Shop Talk, Heat. As much as many of us revisit the shootout scene in this crime thriller, there's a much more low-key scene that gets even more love.
What do you say I buy you a cup of coffee?
The main drive of the film is the game of cat and mouse between thief Neil McCauley and police lieutenant Vincent Hanna. Amidst Vincent's attempts to catch Neil, the former invites the latter to a coffee shop for a chat. The pair has a cordial, if loaded, conversation about their respective professions and personal lives, discovering that both are driven to do what they do because they're too good at it to do anything else.
I don't know how to do anything else.
Neither do I.
I don't much want to either.
Neither do I.
The scene is brilliantly written and is delivered by two of the titans of acting, both at the top of their game.
Enough time to do what you want to do.
That's right.
You doing it now?
No, not yet.
Number 11, To Live as a Monster, Shutter Island. Marshal Teddy Daniels arrives on the eponymous island to investigate a missing patient in a mental hospital. He also intends to get answers about Andrew Lattis, who has similarly gone missing, and who killed Teddy's wife.
Did you ever meet a patient named Andrew Lattis?
No. Never heard of it.
However, it's eventually revealed that Teddy is Andrew, and that the whole investigation has been a ruse to help him regain his memory and overcome his delusions.
Let's get down to the facts.
You've created a story in which you're not a murderer, you're a hero, still a US Marshal, only here at Ashcliffe because of a case, and you've uncovered a conspiracy so that anything we tell you about who you are, what you've done, you can dismiss as lies, Andrew.
In the final scene, Andrew treats his partner, actually one of his doctors, as if he still believes he's Ted, leading them to ordering a lobotomy on him. However, his question to his friend suggests that he's sane and can't live with what he's done.
You know, this place makes me wonder.
Yeah, what's that, boss?
Which would be worse? To live as a monster? Or to die as a good man?
The slightly ambiguous nature of the scene and Leonardo DiCaprio's subtle performance make it very rewatchable. Number 10, Tyler's Identity, Fight Club. The unnamed protagonist of Fight Club is just drifting through life, barely able to sleep due to insomnia. That is, until he meets Tyler Durden. The charismatic man changes the way the protagonist sees life, while also forming the titular organization of underground fight clubs.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
However, the protagonist begins to notice odd behavior among their followers, and not just their increasingly terroristic activities. They seem to think he's Tyler. He eventually puts together that Tyler is just another personality that emerges during the rare time he sleeps.
Is that a pretty accurate description of our relationship, Tyler?
We have just lost cabin pressure.
What did you just say?
What is wrong with you?
What did you just call me? Say my name.
Tyler Durden! Tyler Durden!
The scene of his discovery calls back on all the hints foreshadowed earlier in the film, which lends to its rewatchability.
You met me at a very strange time in my life.
Number 9, Interrogation, Basic Instinct. You all know why this is here, but we'll explain anyway. Catherine Trammell is a novelist under investigation for the murder of a retired rock star she was dating due to the crime's similarity to a killing in one of her books.
I'd have to be pretty stupid to write a book about killing and then kill somebody the way I described it in my book. I'd be announcing myself as the killer. I'm not stupid.
Her interrogation scene is famous or infamous for a number of reasons. Catherine's unconcerned, sexualized posture and attitude are pretty unforgettable, but the fact that she blatantly exposes herself while crossing and uncrossing her legs has led many to revisit the scene.
I have nothing to hide.
Number 8, the verbal reveal, The Usual Suspects. And like that, it's here. Somehow this moment keeps cropping up on our lists, and it's no wonder. It's just that popular and memorable.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
The Usual Suspects is told primarily through the recounting of Verbal Kint, a crippled criminal whose immunity deal includes disclosing the events surrounding his deceased gang's work for a mastermind named Kaiser Soze.
I knew it was Kaiser Soze.
But Keith,
It was Kaiser Soze, Agent Kuyan. I mean, the devil himself. How do you shoot the devil in the back?
Yet in the final scene, the lead detective notices that the details of Verbal's stories were taken from words in his office, and a sketch comes in revealing that Verbal is actually Kaiser Soze. Everything comes together to send the movie out on an unforgettable note that we always enjoy reliving.
And like that, he's gone.
Number 7. Hannibal Escapes, The Silence of the Lambs. For as much as this seminal thriller focuses on trainee FBI agent Clarice Starling's pursuit of serial killer Buffalo Bill, the biggest straw is easily her pseudo-mentor and cannibal psychiatrist, Hannibal Lecter.
People will say we're in love.
While their first interaction together is also frequently revisited, we'd argue that Hannibal's escape from custody brings fans back more often. In the scene, Hannibal conceals a small nail in his hand and uses it to pick his handcuffs when the guards enter his cell to bring him dinner. Second dinner, actually. His brutal assault of the two men, including biting one of their faces, is sharply contrasted by the soothing classical music playing in the background. The whole scene really captures the appeal of the character, cultured exterior masking a savage within. Number 6. A Bigger Boat. Jaws. The shark that stalks around Amity Island is an elusive creature, first appearing as a fin in the water, with only glimpses of it to go on for the hunters that set out in pursuit of it.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them.
When the beast finally does show itself, it's a moment to remember. Brody lays down chum and is startled by the appearance of the massive man-eating fish, prompting a comment on the necessity of acquiring a larger vessel.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Strangely, for how famous and revisited the scene is, people still get Brody's iconic quote wrong.
I was wrong. We'll have to amend our reports.
Number 5. Lucky, Dirty Harry. The quintessential anti-hero cop, Dirty Harry Callahan is a homicide detective who plays by his own rules, at least when the law gets in the way of what he thinks is right.
I don't want any more trouble like you had last year in the Fillmore district. Understand? That's my policy.
Yeah, well, when an adult male is chasing a female with intent to commit rape, I shoot the bastard. That's my policy.
One of Harry's most famous moments is also one of his most rewatched. While on his lunch break, a bank is robbed down the street from the restaurant he's eating at. Harry proceeds to gun down the fleeing robbers, causing quite a bit of mayhem, before confronting the remaining criminal, who's reaching for his shotgun.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself.
Harry delivers his famous line about forgetting how many bullets remain in his powerful handgun before inquiring if the punk feels lucky. Although Harry repeats this quote several times, the impact of the first time remains.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Number 4. Coin Toss, No Country for Old Men. A bleak crime thriller, No Country for Old Men chronicles the relentless pursuit of hitman Anton Chigurh after a stolen case of money. The remorseless killer murders plenty of people during the film, but the most nerve-wracking and rewatchable scene occurs when Chigurh chats with an elderly gas station attendant.
Y'all getting any rain up your way?
What way would that be?
I seen you was from Dallas.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo.
The poor man's attempts at small talk are rebuffed and mocked by Chigurh, and even his transparent attempt to close the store is picked apart. Eventually, Chigurh asks him to call a coin toss, which he uses several times to decide whether or not to kill someone.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
The tension and Javier Bardem's magnetic and terrifying performance keep us coming back to this scene. Friendo.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
Number 3. Plane Chase, North by Northwest. Alfred Hitchcock has directed some of the finest thriller scenes ever.
This is not going to lead to a very happy conclusion, Mr. Kaplan. I'm not Kaplan. I do wish you'd reconsider.
While we considered the bell tower scene in Vertigo, this won out. Pursued by mysterious spies, Roger Thornhill is determined to find out why they're interested in the man they believe he is.
Wait. Did you call me Kaplan? I know you're a man of many names, but I'm perfectly willing to accept your current choice.
Current choice? My name is Thornhill,
Roger Thornhill. There's never been anything else.
To that end, he travels to a bus stop in the middle of nowhere, a spot where Kaplan was supposedly meant to meet someone. However, instead of a spy, he's pursued by a nearby crop duster plane which nearly mows him down in an iconic action set piece. While its influence can be felt in other similar man versus aerial vehicle scenes, the original is still a masterpiece that people watch time and time again. Number 2. What's in the Box? 7. This thriller follows two detectives, Somerset and Mills, on the trail of a mysterious serial killer who themes his kills around the 7 deadly sins.
Gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy. 7.
The murderer, only known as John Doe, is one step ahead, even after he turns himself in. Directing the detectives out to a remote location, Doe has Somerset open a box delivered to the same place. Somerset opens it and is horrified, warning Mills to drop his weapon.
Give me your gun.
What's going on over there?
Put the gun down.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box?
Doe reveals to Mills that he killed the detective's pregnant wife and mailed her head there, hoping to goad Mills into killing him to complete all 7 sins with wrath, which Mills does. Tense, tragic, and altogether shocking, this is a scene that's been studied for years, just like Doe wanted.
I'm setting the example. And what I've done is going to be puzzled over and studied and followed forever.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Talkin' to Me, Taxi Driver. One of director Martin Scorsese's most celebrated movies, Taxi Driver is the story of Travis Bickle, a disenfranchised taxi driver who gradually becomes more unhinged as the film goes on.
12 hours of work and I still can't sleep. Damn. Days go on and on. And they don't end.
Paranoid and disgusted at the crime he sees during his job, Travis buys several guns, ostensibly for protection. After obtaining them, though, he practices drawing them in front of the mirror, attempting to appear tough in a hypothetical encounter.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
De Niro's swaggering performance and his iconic line, "You talking to me?" have been frequently referenced throughout pop culture, to the point where even if you haven't seen this scene, you've seen this scene. And the people who have seen it more than once.
Here's a man who would not take it anymore.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.